Hey, what's up? This your girl Tiffany Christie. I'm just out handling business right now, running errands, about to go check up on my pops. And moments in time, memories downloads just randomly come to my mental at times, especially when I'm riding in silence, when I'm meditating. But it be reminders that come to me, because it's a lesson in the memories that's just been flooding in today. So I just wanted to come on here and talk to my young ladies, because self-esteem. Self-esteem is really big for people in general, but I'm just speaking from a women's point of view right now, because I've experienced it and that's all I could talk about, firsthand stuff. So growing up, I didn't think I had an issue with self-esteem. I've always been plus size, so my weight and my size has never been an issue when it came to any relationship I wanted, or hell, if it was a dude that I wanted and maybe he wasn't feeling me because I was plus size, that ain't never stopped me from flirting with a nigga. Hell, I used to flirt my ass off, so I've had confidence, and my self-esteem was fine. Now, when I got in my relationship with my kid's father, disclaimer, I'm not talking about my soon-to-be ex-husband, I'm talking about my baby daddy, let's say that. When I got in a relationship with him, first of all, ladies, how you fucking get them is how you gonna fucking lose them. I used to do this shit all the time, and I used to be like, nah, I'm different. Wasn't shit different about it. It happened exactly the same, how they said, the same way you get them, the same way you gonna lose them. And he played a big part in my self-esteem, because once I got with him, of course I had 2 kids, I didn't think nobody else was gonna, I won't say I didn't think nobody else wanted me at that time. I just wasn't checking for nobody else. But he came back in my life, and everything was cool at first. So I had 2 kids, no kids by him. Fast forward, a little time went past, and it wasn't what I thought it was gonna be. Like, in the beginning, it was nothing but love. It was nothing but everything that I wanted. I was getting attention, I was getting time, the QT that we be asking for, just really made to feel special. So that's why I thought I was special, because he was a pillow talking ass nigga. Like, everything he was telling me that old girl that he was having issues with was fussing about, that he wasn't giving her head, he was giving it to me. So I'm like, shit, maybe it's the bitch, maybe it's the female. I'm just saying, somebody for everybody type shit. That's what I was thinking in my head. But then it was my turn. One day a switch just flipped, and it ain't had to be nothing that I fucking did, because I stayed the same damn person. They say I know I'm getting the silent treatment. Shit. Not communicating whereabouts. So now I'm having insecurities, because the shit that when you were creeping with me, buddy, the stuff that you were doing, not coming home to that person late nights, you were now doing to me. So that led to my self-esteem being lowered. It led to me feeling like something was wrong with me. Something I wasn't doing. I wasn't good enough. And I had a lot of trauma growing up, just from my parents. My father wasn't there. My mom and her religious beliefs was crazy. Like, it was just so much strict stuff. Like, I couldn't do shit. I was so fucking sheltered. So coming into this relationship so naive to a lot of stuff, because I wasn't taught by my mother red flags. I wasn't around people like other women to give me that guidance, to show me red flags in a relationship. So I did. I lied a lot. The only thing that I was thinking I was doing was allowing whatever made me feel good to be around it. Like, he made me feel really, really, really good and safe at one point in time. So once he tried to take it from me, all I wanted to do was get it back. So now I was accepting bullshit. I was accepting staying out late. I was accepting no communication. I was accepting silent treatments. And then eventually it'll stop. Eventually, all of a sudden, he'll want to be all lovey-dovey up under me and want to stay in the house all day and start love bombing the fuck out of me. You know, and eventually I got pregnant by him. We had 3 miscarriages, y'all. You know, God only gonna give you now. He ain't gonna give you too much more than you can bear, but if you keep putting it on yourself, he gonna go ahead and let you have it. First miscarriage, took it hard. Second miscarriage, took it even harder. And I had a fucking point to prove. I remember it was a time, which was a memory that popped up in my head, when he was like, he told me, he said, because I was going through a lot emotionally. I was just, my emotions all over the place, crying, sad, angry. And then I started shutting down. I started getting real quiet. And I guess at that time he was trying, I guess, to do the right thing. Like, he was talking to people at work, asking for advice. Like an older lady. Say she is too old. She was probably 5 to 8 years older than us. But asking her for advice, and he came to me, he was like, do you think I'm gonna leave you or something because of the miscarriages? Is this a thought that ran through your mind or something? And I was like, it has. And he was like, don't think like that. And so at that time, giving me reassurance that we was good, and this and the third miscarriage came around. Woo, terrible. He was terrible. He wasn't with me like he was the previous miscarriages. Like, he was quick to put me off on somebody else to go back to work. I get he was the only one working at that time, but a day, he could have took a day. He could have. Now, I get it. Men go through their own emotional cycle or whatever feelings that they have, because they took a loss too. So I try to understand that and be understanding about that as well. But I got all these fucking hormones that's going on. This fetus that's still growing inside of me, that right now I'm taking this medicine to break up the tissues and stuff so it can come out of me. Like, it's so many hormones that I'm going through that all of these emotions is just all over the fucking place. And he told me then and there. He told me out his mouth, he said, maybe we should stop, because I cannot deal with you after these, when you have these, he didn't say these miscarriages, but he was just like, I can't deal with you when this happens. And I was like, fuck. Like, it made me want to have my baby even harder, y'all. Because I had something to prove to myself that my body could do it. I had 2 healthy babies. And then I took my my IUD out, my birth control out, and I started having these miscarriages back to back. So it was something to that. But I say this to say, like, through that whole situation, it didn't do nothing but lower my self-esteem. Like, the roller coaster of emotions that I went through with my partner, not being there for me emotionally, because he didn't even fucking know how. And I used to give him a whole bunch of passes because of it. But you do what you want to do. Everything, God gave us a choice. If he loved me enough, he would have learned how to love me. At first, he was getting advice so he can try. And then he just fucking gave up. He was just like, fuck it, I'm out. Take me out the game, coach. Like, I don't give a fuck. I'm not going to sit here trying to babysit this girl emotions. Like, and even after that, still continued. Had 2 babies that I still had to be there for emotionally, physically, mentally. But I still continued, and we ended up having a baby. Beautiful baby boy. I don't regret any of my kids right hand of God. How they came about, I wish I would have took more time and cared about myself and gave myself a little more time and chose fathers accordingly. Like, getting to know the person and getting to know myself. First of all, women, get to know yourself. If you already have a lot of trauma within yourself, heal thyself. Take it to the Lord. Develop your relationship with God. Understand why you're consistently allowing a pattern to continue. Because by this time, like, I had been separated from my husband for some time, jumped into another relationship not that long after being separated from him, and then who's my baby father, my baby daddy now. We had been together, we was together like a year, and then we broke up. And then a little time would pass, we got back together. Like, it was a terrible cycle. And for the last like 10 years of my life, damn near, if not a little more, I was in the same cycle between my husband and my baby daddy. Like ping pong, boom, 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 back and forth, because I thought I was in love with these people. But no, I was used to them. Like, I knew their behaviors. I knew their patterns. And as time went on, I was like, okay, I'm just accepting. I may accept what their patterns were. I may accept that this person can't give me what I want. And I'm accept that, okay, this person give me a little bit of what I want. But then, I guess, I'm going to accept the rest of the bullshit that come along with it. Because these were the most consistent men that I knew. Like, I didn't even give myself time to know any other men. I was scared at that point. I didn't want to open up myself to anybody else. I didn't want to take the time to get to know somebody new. I didn't want to do that. But I chose to waste all this time with these two individuals that were not there to help be that leadership to me. Like, I stayed being in the position of taking the lead. I didn't have anyone to follow. Even at times, my baby's dad, for a moment, he did take the lead. But when other people start paying him attention, he started getting attention from others that wasn't healthy for his relationship with his spouse or whatever I was, because I was fucking married. But he wondered. His eyes wandered. Somebody else was picking him up when he felt like I was tearing him down. No, what the issue was, he wasn't enough of a man for me. So he had to go and find less. Someone who would be even willing to receive less and start that cycle over. That love bombing cycle over on the next person. Build that person up. Had a baby with that person. Then that person saw their true colors. Like, and hey, before me, he even had another baby. But when I came in the picture, I took on the responsibility of that baby as well. Like, if I got something for my kids, your baby got it too. Like, I was a very mature individual. Yes, and even when I was young, like, we were young when we first got together, but in our early 20s. But I still had that mindset, like, no matter what me and my mama went through, I was raised to have a good heart, to have a good spirit, to not try to get over on people, to treat people as I wanted to be treated and shit like that. So I would always do for his oldest child, which is today, which is still my bonus baby, whether we together or not, because that's mine. And if she ever need me, I'm coming, no matter what. So I say all this to say, learn yourself. Learn and don't accept less than what you telling yourself you want. Like, understand what you want out of a spouse. And that's okay. You know, sometimes people like, oh, you too picky, you this, you that, and the third. Motherfuck you, because you don't have to be in a motherfucking relationship with me. And if you feel like I'm too picky, cool. I'm fucking okay with that. Because you don't, like I said, you don't have to be with me. So go on about your business. Learn how to detach yourself from people. Learn that, okay, if y'all didn't work out, y'all didn't work out. Don't keep trying to figure it out, especially with somebody who's not putting in that effort and that work to figure it out. If it's going to always be one-sided. Once you see that it's one-sided, it's downhill from there. That pattern is going to keep showing up. That one-sided. Like, oh, you feel this way, you're assuming type bullshit keep popping up in your relationship. Oh, you're insecure. No, I'm not insecure. Your behaviors are leading me to have these emotions because you're doing the same shit that you done told me over and over again you will stop, and you have yet to fucking stop these terrible patterns. And at this point, you're showing me you don't give a fuck. You're disrespecting me over and over again. It's not me trying to be your mom. It's me trying to be your woman. It's me trying to sit here and say, okay, well, keep everybody out of our fucking relationship, whether it's your family or your friends. If we having an issue, talk to me about it. But he was too headstrong. He was too pig-headed, big old fucking ego. And whatever I was saying, it couldn't be right. You know what I'm saying? So over time, with me accepting the same bullshit over and over again, my self-esteem got lower and lower. I remember it was time with that boy, he told me, my baby daddy, he said, I'd never find somebody that would do for me the way he did for me. How arrogant are you? Like, the fucking audacity. Like, what? Like, why even say that to somebody? Because there was a way of control. There was a way to try to big up yourself and put in my head that, damn, ain't nobody else gonna want me. Cause shit, by this time, I got 3 kids. By this time, I got 4 kids. And eventually, I ended up having a 5th. But he told me that, I think I had 4 kids at that time. And it did something to me. It did something to my mental. Because I started believing that shit. I started believing that nobody else would want me because I have all these children. And I wanted nothing but stability for my children. Like, I did my best not to fuss, fight, and argue in front of my kids when I noticed that it was affecting them. Because at first, I didn't pay none of that attention. My emotions took over. And I didn't care if my children was right there or not. I would fuss, yell, block a door if a dude trying to leave. Kids sitting there watching it. Like, I owe them so much. And I will spend the rest of my life making sure I don't never put them in situations like that. You can never see me in situations like that again. My kids will never. That's my word. So, we really have to stop being so selfish too, especially when we already got kids, and put them first. Fuck our feelings. Fuck what our loneliness or whatever. But I'm like the auntie right now speaking to my little nieces, my little internet nieces that I don't fucking know. You know, one day might meet. If you see me, holler at me. But y'all have to put yourselves first, especially before you start having kids, because that's the only time you put yourself first. After you have kids, it is no longer about you. But yeah, man, don't let a dude that you trying to lead and follow behind lead your ass right off a motherfucking cliff or right to motherfucking nut house, because it's going to affect your mental something awful. It's going to lower your self-esteem. You're not going to feel good about yourself. You're going to start thinking about all the things that person said to you. You're going to think that nobody else is really going to want you. So you're just going to settle. You're going to keep receiving bullshit after bullshit after bullshit. And then you be stuck in it and be thinking like, damn, like how I end up here 4 years later, 5 years later, 6 years later, 7 years later, all these years that went past, and you just stayed in that same motherfucking pattern because you wasn't strong enough, or you didn't think you were strong enough to let it go and to heal thyself, to put God first. Whew. man, like when you form a relationship with God, you find your strength. You no longer feel like somebody else has to be there to complete you. When you're single, when you have kids, you have your children, of course. But even then, like when you have a relationship with God, nobody else is needed to make you feel good about yourself. You don't need that validation, because you're living your life in order to please God. And if you're pleasing God, then you know you're doing the right thing. So then you're pleasing yourself. You're happy with yourself. You're being validated that way. It feels good when someone gives you encouragement or sees your efforts. Your efforts aren't going unnoticed, and they tell you how proud they are and stuff like that. That's a bonus. But when it comes to the self-esteem and how you feeling about just yourself, that's what it is, self-esteem. It's not going to be weakened when you have a relationship with God. And I've never been like the big religious type person, just because of my upbringing. I was so confused about religion. But I had to develop my own relationship. It didn't have nothing to do with my mama. It didn't have nothing to do with no guy I was dating. It didn't have nothing to do with my kids. I had to form that relationship for myself. And it made my relationship with my kids better. It made my relationship with my siblings better. It made my relationship with my mom, like, even though she's passed now, I was able to forgive her for stuff. Like, I had to have a relationship with God and come to God and gain an understanding of why things are happening, why I was allowing XYZ to keep happening. I started putting up boundaries with people. I started I will no longer allow anything that I allowed in the past, because it didn't do nothing but keep me down. It didn't do nothing but distract me from my goals. Like, man, I was going to school back in the day. I was doing a lot of different things to better my life and my children's life, and I just fell out, and I never went back. And I never even had a vision of what my life could be again. But that's changed now. I'm achieving goals. I'm reaching goals that I set for myself, and whether big or small, set goals for yourself. Don't allow people to be a distraction, man. Don't allow these dudes, or hell, speaking to the guys, don't allow these women to be a distraction. Whatever you have to do to elevate yourself in this life, because we only get one life. I mean, this life, this one, we only got. I mean, I believe in afterlife and, you know, the next life and stuff, so I won't say we only get one life. But this particular life, we only get this time to make whatever count that we're trying to make count in this life, because I'm not going to be this form in my next life, you know what I'm saying? So, the time that you have in this life, don't take it for granted. My brother passed away over a year ago. My mom passed away January 2024 this year. So I know that played a lot of me no longer wanting to waste time with people, no longer wanted to be so distracted by things, running out of time, missing out on opportunities because I'm running up after a dude or a friendship. So, like, continuously put yourself first. And as long as you ain't disrespecting nobody, you ain't taking no money out of nobody's pockets, you ain't making a motherfucker starve, you ain't like just, you know, being fucked up towards a person. If you have to take yourself out of a relationship, no matter what it is, whether it's a spouse, whether it's a friend, do that shit, because you fucking matter too. And get yourself together and pray for them. Pray for everybody. Never stop praying for them. I mean, if that's the type of person you are, this type of person I am, so that's what I do. And wish the best for them. And hopefully, they will elevate too. You know? You can't do it for them now. I used to be that person, used to be like, oh man, like, they motivate me to do better. But they wasn't, it was just because I was with them, I wanted to do better. I wanted to win for us. It wasn't nothing that they were doing that motivated me. It was just the fact that we were together. And I wanted to be the one to bring us all along, you know, or to big my man up to maybe one day he'll want to be bigger and better, or maybe he'll continue to do what he's doing instead of falling off. But I had to just focus on Tiffany. Okay, so at the end of the day, the message is focus on you. And if you have kids, focus on them kids. Don't ignore the kids for no dude, for no friendship, for nothing. Like, because they matter. We're creating either a healthy, safe space, or we're creating trauma in our children. And for me, if my kids, when they get older, if they ever want to have a conversation with me about anything, open for it. Let's go. Let's run it down. And I'm going to apologize. And not because of how I made you feel. I'm sorry because of what I did. I'm being very specific. Because they're going to be very specific with me. It's not about how I made them feel. It was my actions that caused that reaction from them. That put that hurt and trauma on them. So I'm going to take accountability. Accountability is big. Be accountable in everything you do. And move forward and be a better person. And don't ever let your past define who the fuck you are now. Because when people put that in when people try to put that up, throw that up to me, oh, you used to do this, how long ago? And fuck how long ago. Used to, that's the past. This is now. I'm moving forward to the future. Alright, y'all. This your girl, Tiffany Christie. I'll be back for another video. Don't be afraid to like the video, comment. You know, when I see a comment, I'm going to reply. And we can have a conversation. I might even go live one day. And we have like an open forum or whatever. You know what I'm talking about. So, look, Q&A situation going on. But anyways, like, share, subscribe, turn on your notifications so you can see my content when I upload it for the first time. Be the first to see it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm getting used to this whole YouTube life. I think I'm gonna love it here. I said it before, I say it again. And it's a good outlet. It's very therapeutic. Remember to love you. Because you can't love anybody else before you love yourself first. Alright? I'm out.